Hello, everybody. I'm Stephen Dwight, and welcome to Happy on Purpose. This is the last video of the G.A.M.E series, the G.A.M.E framework. And we are on the E for environment tonight. So you've done the internal work. Now what? If you think about it, you've done on the G.A.M.E framework, the G, gratitude. You've trained your brain to find what's right. You have, on the A for affirmations, you started sort of rewriting those beliefs that are holding you back. And mindfulness, M, you learn to show up for your actual life and to be aware and present. But here's the problem, as I see it. uh, if your outer world is working against your inner world, it's kind of like swimming upstream. So your environment, that is the external piece that completes the G.A.M.E framework. I don't want to make it complicated. It's not hard, but I will tell you that the environment that you're in and around and that influences you is probably the most important part of this whole framework. Your inner world just has to align with your outer world and vice versa. Here's an example. For people that want to get in shape, you have the exercise, you have the diet, and other things, right? But mainly diet and exercise. Well, diet is like 80% of the net result of the kind of shape you're going to be in. Meaning, you cannot out exercise a bad diet. You couldn't gorge yourself with pizza while you're on the treadmill and expect to get good results. In other words, we have to be mindful of that, right? That's it's not a discipline. It's just counterproductive. Uh, it's uh, it's just not going to work for us, right? So our environment works the same way. The influences that are around us. You can do the internal work every morning. Okay, we agree on that. But if your environment is feeding you fear and anger and division all day long, it's working against you. You're working against yourself. Think about it like this. You become the manifestation of your environment. Think about that one. You become the manifestation of your environment. This is not a philosophy. There's science behind this. There really is. And I don't want to get into a lot of detail about it, but here's a few things to pay attention to. One of them is social contagion. What is that? Well, emotions and attitudes, behaviors spread through social groups like a virus. And that spontaneously, well, it's spontaneous, it's without even noticing it or realizing it. People don't always realize they're being influenced like that. If someone has a cold or the flu, you avoid them. You want to avoid having them breathe right on you, certainly. Uh, Similar, but it's an energy influence. And mirror neurons. If you think about that, your brain fires the same neurons whether you're doing something or just watching it. It's if you're consuming negativity, if you're listening to it, you're around it, your brain thinks we're just living it. It doesn't know the difference necessarily between reality and what you're just watching or listening to. Your brain responds to that. So the third one is sympathetic resonance. It's like a tuning fork. There's a You vibrate at a frequency. We all do. Everything does. Everything vibrates and everything has a frequency. And in this case, whatever you're around has a vibration as well. It's not a metaphor, it is physics. And I just want to say enough to ask you to be aware of it, that social contagion, mirror neurons, and sympathetic resonance. Look it up. It's important to be aware of that, because that is how your environment influences you every day. Another thing, here's a quote I love by Rohn, and it is, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." So, but in 2026, it's not just that. Your your 5 people aren't just who you have dinner with or that hang out at your house. It is who you follow on social media. It's the podcast that you listen to. It's the news channels that you have on TV. It's the groups you belong to online. Uh, it's what your algorithm has decided is best for you. So it's broader today in our digital world. So it's not just about becoming the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. It's where you focus your attention on these groups, the media, uh, the podcasts, the people you follow. Very important to be aware of that. Another way of saying it is, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. Show me your feed, your social media feed. I'll show you your mindset. Show me what you watch, and it'll be pretty easy to understand what your fears are. And show me who you spend your time with. I'll show you who you're becoming. Let that settle for a second. It's a big deal. Your environment is writing your future right now. Believe it, it is. Your environment is writing your future right now. The question is, are you the author, or is someone else or some group the author? Here's an example of maybe outsourcing your mind and your thoughts to social media. Maybe you're not even forming your own opinions anymore. You're just downloading them off of Facebook. The algorithm feeds you more of what spikes your emotions, what you liked, what you've commented on, if it's an argument or some kind of not so great thing on social media. The algorithm will pick it up, and all of a sudden you start noticing it more and more. Similar posts, similar things just keep popping up. That's the algorithm. That's what it's doing. It just feeds you more of what gets you going, spikes your emotion. And slowly your worldview, well, it's written by people who benefit from your outrage. That's a fact. That's what they do. You think you're informed, you're actually just being managed. Okay? So that's not thinking. That is outsourcing your mind, outsourcing your thinking to social media or some group or somebody else. And it is happening to millions of people right now. It happens to us if we allow it. Here's another example. We look for belonging sometimes in the wrong places. When people don't feel accepted uh, at home or at work or in life, we go looking. We want belonging. Well, the internet is full of people who will accept you. They'll validate you, then they'll radicalize you, and slowly, without you even noticing it. That does happen. And you found your tribe. But the tribe is if you think about it, the tribe's pulling you somewhere that you never maybe intended to go. I don't know if that's going on in your life or not, but think about it for a second. Are you following groups or people in a way that's taking you down a path you didn't really plan on, but here you are. Something to be aware of. Some of those places could be elections, they can be, politics. It's full of division. It keeps us fighting, that's for sure. And people who are fighting, they're pretty easy to control. So just be aware of that, okay? And here's what I did, and here's what changed for me. And I eliminated biased news, all of it. Actually, I limited all news for quite some time, and it did help. I stopped that Facebook scrolling. Just it gets you going, man. It's almost addicting. This whole scrolling thing. I'm getting really upset, or this is exactly my point, and it never. There's no end to that, man. So I walked away from it. I walked away from that talk, from other relationships that may have been toxic, negative. And for me, I don't care who you are. If I'm related to you, you're a friend, a colleague, if you're spewing garbage my direction, I'm going to take steps to limit my exposure to you. I owe that to myself, and you owe it to you. It's very important. I just walked away, or really limited my exposure to it. And I guard my eyes and my ears. What I see online, and you'll notice if you're watching things online, things pop up that you wouldn't necessarily put on your feed on purpose. It just pops up, and it's not great. And y'all know what I'm talking about. There's stuff out there you shouldn't be looking at. That's the algorithm. It's pumping garbage at you, just hoping you'll take the bait. So don't take the bait. Just stop scrolling. Okay? And when we do that, we become a more independent thinker. We become a critical thinker. And my inner world stopped being hijacked by my outer world. That was a big deal. So things got quieter and things got a little clearer, which was helpful. So how do you start taking control of your environment? How do you take it back? Well, as we've already talked about, awareness. It starts with awareness. Notice what you're consuming and how it makes you feel. Just start there. Just be aware of it. When you hear something negative, something dark, something that's, just think about it. How does it make you feel? Use your tools. Use your breathing tools. Simple breathing techniques and affirmations to counter those negative influences. Sometimes you can't just eliminate all of the noise, but you can control what's happening in your own head, in your own thoughts. You can take a deep breath. You can manage those thoughts. And I have at times had to say very quiet affirmations in some really difficult times, just affirmations that were uplifting, that were combating the negative influences around me. And we are human, and this is life, and it's not perfect. And I don't want to overemphasize the negative stuff, because not everything's negative, and there's a lot of great things. And this influence I'm talking about can work the other way as well. Being around positive, happy, motivated, loving people and environments is amazing and will have a great effect on you. So that's how to use it to your benefit. So just maybe sometimes it's a shift or a change. You're just changing the channel to something that's a little better for you. So just use the tools. You know what to do. And just make adjustments that are safe, that are practical. You don't need to do a major overhaul in your life overnight. This is a slower process. Just be aware, make little adjustments, be kind to yourself, and just try to stop consuming content that just spikes your emotions. Try that. Just be mindful of toxic people and begin to sort of limit that exposure. And find a support network, a group group of people that are like-minded, that are positive, loving, caring, and that could come alongside you. I think that's a great step to take. Just know the world is not going to look after your best interest, not as a whole. That's something you need to own. You do. Nobody's coming to curate your environment for you. The algorithm is not your friend. That's a business. So your peer group will not always push you upward, but you need to find one that will, if they're not today. So this is your responsibility. And that's actually a good thing. You can control it because it means you have the power to change it. So we've just completed 4 videos of the G.A.M.E framework: gratitude, affirmations, mindfulness, and environment. And internal work without external alignment equals swimming upstream. But all 4 together, I think they equal happiness on purpose. So there you have it. You have the complete G.A.M.E framework. I hope you use it. I hope it makes a great, big, wonderful difference in your life. And I wish you all the best. And I hope you'll come visit Happy on Purpose again.